Greetings and welcome. This is Psychic Medium Roberto, and I truly hope you are doing well. I'm guided by Spirit, and I'm recording this episode July the 1st at 11, just gone past 11 a.m. Trigger warning: the subject matter is of a mature nature and deals with true crime events. Disclaimer: all cases are treated as alleged until proven in a court of law. So I've edited the episode up as Slater, who has obviously gone missing. Well publicized missing case over the past 2 weeks. I have been keeping an eye on it. There's a couple of things that bothered me during the build-up. The comments coming from the Spanish authorities for me was alarming. Discrediting Slater, I believe. We don't need to know his past. Someone's past doesn't necessarily dictate what happened to them in this instance. And I thought, when I heard the comments from them, I thought, this is odd. Why did they throw this in our face? And ladies and gentlemen, I believe I have the answer. I've been meditating. I've had his date out. I'm keeping an eye on the case. But more so now over the past 24 hours because I heard the search has been called off. And that's where I thought, let me go deep. And I've had to go deep. Alright, so this is Jay's master slide here. And he went missing on June the 17th. June the 17th. Now, there's varying reports, last seen, last spoken to, friends spoke to him. We'll get into that. Before I start, I want to bring to your attention the missing persons case of Ryan Cooney from Ireland, who also went missing in the same area, 9 November 2023. So having done a bit of research and digging around, I've come up with a hunch. And when I did more research on missing people in that area, came up with Ryan Cooney. And so this allowed me an opportunity to see if I see any patterns. Okay. Is it the same group operating in the area? Because I believe there's a group operating in the area. In this case with Ryan and Jay, I believe the group is involved here. And we're going to start with Jay's case. And we'll use Ryan's as a comparison and get answers on him as well. So I must admit it took me quite a while to get the answer. As you can see, I've already done some work on it. So the first thing I'm going to say is foul play, unfortunately. I know some of you might be wanting the quick answers now, but there's something I want to show you guys. But definitely foul play. And I believe there's groups and organizations in the area, confirmed. So there are groups also in the area. Now, let's focus in here. The day Jay goes missing, June 17. Now, there's reports that he sent a Snapchat video in the morning, so he was fine. He spoke to a friend in the morning. He spoke to another friend who seemed to think he was on gravel, walking on somewhere. The time frame in which this would have occurred is this area here. Let me just point it out. So he's missing. The missing situation happens in this orange block here. Now, already in the day, we are seeing 888s And just as a quick footnote, I've had to scrub these dates because there's been several cases over these dates, and that's why I've also been careful in doing the J. Slater case. I found him in the sequences here, I believe. Let's see here. So 14.5 already is going to tell us foul play, right? And the story of him getting lost in the wilderness, I don't know if that's entirely true in my opinion. Because again, Jay is letting me know that the information around here, and I'm just going to go to one of the original. So people are saying last known ping 8:50 a.m. and then possible sighting June 6 p.m. I must say, having meditated on this a while, I have a good feeling that this may be true, this part here, June 17, 6 p.m., and I'll confirm it in a minute. But what we have here is a 14.5. So this tells me the full truth is not revealed about what actually has happened to Jay, in my opinion, because unfortunately we do have authorities involved as well, in my opinion. Not involved in the crime, let's be clear, not involved in the crime, but certainly are aware of what's going on and not necessarily given us that information. And this does ring true for the case of Taylor Cassie, but I believe we have a similar situation here. And it's confirmed. You will note where I've put this red line here with the red arrow down to the next red line here. So that is the full sequence, I believe, where this crime has taken place. And we'll go deeper. I'm just going to give you the overview. So the reflection days are here highlighted in blue. The summary that I will get information about the crime in this range as well. But you'll note something interesting here, how the days are overlapping. Now, it's not unusual, because what it can mean is a crime takes place either very early in the morning or very late in the day. So you have sequences overlapping in days. I've seen it in several cases, not an issue. However, I think in this case it plays an important aspect in that gangs, because 14.5, gangs, groups, I did put groups here. Okay, but let's just go on this one. So the 14.5 also brings around gangs and groups, or small groups like a gang, that are operating in the area. We see them reflected here again, 14.5. So in my opinion, to give you the quick answer, and we'll go deeper for those that want to go deeper because there is more information, but there's definitely groups or gangs happening in this area. And having now gone through this since early this morning, by the way, like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, round about there, I would want to shout to the hills and say, guys, not a good place to travel to, unfortunately. Because in my opinion, what is happening here is that gangs are targeting tourists, particularly when you have setups like the festival that's happening, right? So you'll note I've got 2 blue lines here. And I'll get to the significance of this, but it's in relation to Ryan. Because the patterns in him, in his missing sequence, are actually reflected here in Jay's sequence as well. So we've got same groups operating in this area. Now I'll bring to your attention. So the festival would have been over this weekend here, right? So look what we have here. Of course, the 28, 10, 1, 19, 10, 1, 10, and in particular the 30, more so the 33 is about partying, celebration, having fun, all that kind of stuff, right? But on a operational level with gangs or crooks operating in the area, we've got mass communication going on here. Pinging. Mass communication about outcome is money, murder, death, because I believe, and it was actually recommended in the Taylor Cassie case, and that is there a possibility of organ transplants or organ trafficking taking place? And I know that's not a nice thing to hear, and our thoughts and prayers are with Jay and his family and friends. But we do have the presence of 22-4, which is a medical number, like operations as in surgery, as well as could even be a mobile facility as well. It just pinged on me, mobile facility. Unfortunately, the 33 also speaks about organs and a collection of organs, unfortunately. So I would say Jay is not the first person that this has happened to. We have the presence of 16-7 of a serial nature. And within the crime scene, so I'm just going to put a red block here, just so within the crime scene, I've just spotted it now as well. We have a 22-4 in the middle. So the crime scene is from the arrow down until the next block here. For those that are new, let me just show you. And from a timing point of view, beg your pardon, I do have that available, but let me just put it here. Okay, so let me just do it here, so it's clear for everyone. So on the top row here, we have the midnight to sunrise. Then the middle row is the day. Day to sunset. And then here, I've had to go deep on this. From here we go sunset to midnight, okay? And this is why I'm saying the overlapping of days, and I'll demonstrate for you, because this year is in line with Ryan, as I mentioned. But even here, they're operating, I'm not saying this is where, just so we're clear, I'm not saying where this Ryan went missing. Ryan went missing in 2023. But the exact same sequence presents itself here. And keeping in mind, it's the same location. So we have fingerprints here. But what's interesting is they're targeting night goers, party revelers, because it's always night, sunset to midnight. To midnight and then sunrise. It's always during the night, in other words. So they're targeting drunk tourists, tourists coming out of festivals. Oh, don't worry, come chill with us. Now, I'm not saying it's the two people that he went with, because apparently they back in the UK. I had a feeling it's not them. I believe Jay presented himself, and they would have been at the festival anyway. But what I'm saying is, Jay would have presented himself being out in the open to them when he was out and about trying to get to wherever he was going, right? Because we have where's that number here? 15-6. Now this is in the crime scene, which is an older male. Seemingly familiar. Let's zoom in. Beg your pardon for the crash zoom there. So here's the crime scene, right? So we have an older male, I believe, presented himself to Jay in a seemingly friendly manner, 24/6. And that's going to play a big part just now, by the way. These hidden numbers. Seemingly familiar could say, hey, I saw you at the party, or I saw you at the festival. Oh, were you at the festival? You know what I mean? Friendly. But there's nefarious intentions with this 32-5, unfortunately. (32-5) is not a good number, unfortunately. So if we go back in time to when this would have taken place, so in the zone here, so if we have to narrow it down now, we go here, right? So we have this presence of the 14-5 can also bring about the difficulties expressed by Jay to his friends. I'm tired, I'm hot, I don't know where I am, that kind of thing. 14-5 can bring around difficulties for humans, depending on scale or situation. But it also brings in the groups and gangs. And there's a community of them, right? Now the 31-4, now keeping in mind this would have been the time zone that Jay would have come across this person. Because immediately afterwards we have a 31-4, which is very similar number or outcome to this number here. So there's confirmation, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I don't believe there's a good outcome here. It's just hitting me again. Now, you see, this is the issue. Here's confirmation of the sequence again of this body parts, organs. Sorry, I'm just saying it as I get it. So 31-4 speaks about the death of a human, but it's the body, okay? And 31-4 can actually speak about harvesting. But what I'm getting to, the 22-4 is that medical number I mentioned. So immediately when he dies, why do we have this operational medical number after him? And this is the death of a body and harvesting. The very next morning, sorry to say, and I'm also getting new information now as well, is we have a murder, a death. Okay? Unfortunately, with these 8s around, all speaks about anatomy and biology. So I made a distinction in the Taylor case, and that is 4 speaks about the processes of the body, how the body works, whereas 8 is more the flesh and the organs and the body flesh of the person, right? The 15-6 is also not a good number. We spoke about this in the Princess Catherine cases on the trooping of the colors, where we have that 15-6, which is a perversion of a human. in some way. So again, being used for humans' organs. Now the 32.5 is the destruction. In this case, they would have to, I'm sorry to say, the destruction of the body, the remaining of the body. And these are being exported. 14.5 is an export number. $14.5 is an export number. So what do we see on the next day? Transactional number, 19.10.1. I've had to go deep on this one. Remember, I spoke about transactional numbers. See here, 28.10.1, 19.10.1 with the outcome 1, money. So where we now going to export these organs that we've just harvested, transaction 19.10.1. And this 16.7, yes, on one hand, life is created, ironically, or life is saved, ironically. That's quite disheartening. But I had to say it, I was given that. But ultimately, it's murder. $33.6. 25.7, I'm just going with it. 25.7 can speak about families in distress that are in difficulties, financial difficulties, that, for example, could not afford normal process. Here's a family number here, 24.6 family. Unfortunately, we have the evidence of the perversion of the human body, because how did they get those organs? So, June 20, so we're overlapping here, 22, this is all the emotional distress going around. There's big money, it's organizations' money going around here. So once we start getting into the summary days here, we see again the out of balance 8s. So this is also actually telling me 22. So the remains of his body, sorry to say, but I'm just going to give the information, could be taken out to sea. The remains of his body is taken out to sea. So the 16.7 year is of a serial nature. These groups are operating in this is what they do. And of course they operate in night hours, nighttime, because they're waiting for drunk people or out of control people or people that can't handle themselves in the main. So unfortunately, when I saw June 21, now this is reflection, right? We have 21.3, which is the abduction number. And this is premeditated number, 27.9, premeditated murder. So here's the terrible biology number that you don't want to see at a crime scene. If you're at a crime scene with a 35-8, you know it's going to be bad from a human biology point of view, what happens to a human's body. And this is why first responders have a lot to deal with when they get to some of these crimes. But I'm just showing you the severity of this number. And then, but of course, ironically, the 17.8 reflects, well, part of it is actually useful. Isn't that crazy? So there's definitely, in my opinion, syndicates in this area targeting revelers, partygoers, festivals, nightlife people. I certainly won't be a drop in a week in this town. And I may have some information about location, about people involved. Now, what convinced me was normally I wouldn't continue the sequence after these summary days, right? So what I have done is I've continued the sequence because to pick up energy of the perpetrators. And I picked up on one person here, and I believe one of the people that are involved here, one of the men, is married with young children themselves. And also has a regular day job, if you like. And when I saw this 44 year, like I say, I've had to go deep. When I saw this 44 year, this guy's a father. Whoever was involved here, or part of, let's put it this way, I beg your pardon. Whoever lured Jay on this day, because he has this person here, 15-6, whoever that person is a family man. And ironically, this June 26, now it's all I'm seeing reflection and trends and patterns. When this person presented themselves to Jay, you'll recall I mentioned this 23-5, part of the group community. Hey, you were there at the festival, blah, blah, nonsense, right? 14-5 is the bullshitter, can tell you lies, tell you sweet lies. Beg your pardon for the flashing here. So the 14-5 is reflected here. However, interestingly, and we go in deep, interestingly, the reflection now is the 32-5. Remember I spoke about the 32-5 here? The real intention of this person is what was the outcome as we know it. Well, Jay's missing, and I believe there's trafficking of body parts, organs, of the like. Biology, all eights. But this person here it's revealed here what the actual intention was. And the beautiful thing about numerology, lots of reflections, because look here. The 26-8 here at the top of this day, where we see all these miss 8s, have a look here, where we start the reflection, 26-8, and we got all these 8s out of sequence here. The impression, sorry, I'm just going to tell you now because it bothered me when I looked at this 22. There's some other messaging around that number, and the messaging that I got now, these are mothers that are in distress and they need the body organs for their children or family members, is what it's also showing. It's crazy, man. So on the one hand, in real, we have a family that's child has gone missing, and the father was distraught. And yet we have other families that are celebrating because they've got an organ for their loved one, be it a child or an adult. It's crazy. And this person, now I'm looking back at June 26 here, because now I'm seeing this person clearly. This person may even work in a medical facility. In fact, I'm going to put my dollar on it. This person is a father. I think we must get that cop back back to the island. So I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. Father, and even works in a medical facility. I would look in the area here. Medical facilities. That's what I'm saying. The person that may have lured Jay in the first place, or significant person in this situation, works at a medical facility and is a father, has small children, 13-4. Or can also be dealing with small children at a facility. Maybe he's, what's the technical term? Pediatrics. I think we've got a clue here, ladies and gentlemen. So, part of my meditation included was looking at where Jay went missing. So this was just me messing around. However, I was given the name Palmer. Right? So here's Palmer here, pretty much, right? In this area here. And when we start zooming in Palmer, I was given the name Palmer. So my suggestion would be, and there's the name there. My suggestion would be is to canvass this area. Doing it live as we go. So canvass this area here for perpetrators and even evidence or signs that Jay was around here. I haven't read too much about where they've searched. I know it's in the general area. I know it's based on this map here. But if I was police or private investigators, I would canvass this area, because also I don't believe you're going to get too much help from the local authorities. And this is why I was flabbergasted when they said, well, Jay's an ex-offender or whatever he did. So what's that got to do with finding him today? Is because we have them in play. These police people and officials, when they speak out like that, how do you tarnish someone's reputation when they've gone missing? So my ping sense is I'm getting here. This area needs to be investigated, thoroughly investigated for cameras on the road, or they can see the road in this area, I would start here. Yeah. This general area here. With the road being your anchor point. Carter Palmer. So this road, left and right, is the zone you want to, I would say, to focus attention to derive clues and information as to Jay's whereabouts or what happened and where he went to, including is the perpetrator or one of them in this area as well. And that is this address here. Al Palmer, 38489 Santa Cruz. I would look there. And I believe there may even be footage available of Jay in this zone. Camera footage or footage. Someone saw something or some camera saw something here. I want to just include these houses here as well. At the top right here. This whole area here. Along the road as the bank. Yeah. I know it's a little bit less random than just the island, right? So, Palmer. I believe he did get a lift. He did receive a lift. And I believe he may have been spotted and then offered some kind of, don't worry, we'll come over, have whatever, be safe, we'll get you sorted out, and then trapped. Because we do have the trap number, unfortunately. 21-3. So immediately after the reflection zone, we have high-level conversations going on here. High-level conversations, including local authorities, higher-ups. There's chitter-chatter all over the place here. I believe the police know more than what they're letting on, because why would they ruin a young person's reputation when they're gone missing or were in distress? How do they do that? Strange, eh? Tells you something, eh? Or at least get the truth and justice for Jay. But these higher-ups are definitely know more than what they're knowing, and they are aware of these groups operating in the area. Mom and Dad. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what your thoughts are, please. I do engage with your comments. Let's keep it nice and tidy for everyone. If you're going to come in and blast people, you are going to get booted immediately or when it gets spotted. With that said, have a lovely day. See you soon. Stay safe, stay alert. See you in the next one. Bye for now.